All right, what is going on, guys? We are back for Lightforce Podcast, episode number 6. I am Noah. This is Laney. As always, how are we today?
You know what? I feel great. It may not sound like it, actually. Though when I started talking, I was like, man, they're going to think I'm just lying. I have been a little under the weather. It's literally just like congestion, like really annoying congestion. So I'm like recovering from that, I guess. I feel the best today than I have in the past week. I literally started feeling sick right after we filmed the podcast last Thursday. That's usually how I feel, guys, right after talking to Noah for an hour. But this time,
That's crazy, dude. Crazy.
this time it was a little different. I was like,
You
you
know
know how you
what?
can just feel it in your throat, and you're like, oh no. Yeah.
It just randomly hits you on like a random Tuesday, and you're
Yep.
like,
You're like,
the next
no.
4 days of my life are about to suck.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I've been for the last week.
It's funny you say that because I woke up with a little headache this morning, and it might be because we had to come on here and do this podcast
today. Please, the friendly fire.
The friendly fire. Listen,
but we're good.
Yeah, dude, I'm doing great. We got a little green apple Zoa we're throwing down today.
Okay.
Shout out to the Rock, the great one, the final boss.
It's about power.
We stay hungry, we devour. Right.
No, we can't do that.
Shit's delicious. But anyway, this is episode 6. The last 5 weeks have been pretty poppin'. Last week's episode is our most viewed podcast yet. The K-pop Demon Hunters crowd really came out for us. So thank you guys very much. Hopefully we can break that record this week. And if not, then I'm sure we'll break it another week. But yeah, definitely just want to say thank you guys for that. Mm-hmm. And of course, go follow us on all social medias. We are on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at the Lightforce Podcast. If you're listening, you can go subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can go follow us over on Apple and Spotify. And, leave us that ranking, like a top 5 or top
maybe
5 or
a
5-star
ranking. Leave a comment. I don't know. Just if you feel like it.
I'll take like a 4.5 if you're feeling, not feeling too generous, but you want to help us out. I'm just saying, go hit us up on other social medias. We're growing, we're getting out there, we're trying to keep growing. So thank you guys for all the support thus far. And let's keep it going. But today, got some various things to discuss. It wasn't really a super newsworthy week like it was last week with Superman and stuff getting announced. But we got a couple of things to talk about. And of course, as advertised, the MCU top 10 that we've been putting off for like the last 3 episodes. Because I think episode 3, we just talked about a bunch of other stuff, and then we were just like, let's push it off. Then we talked to Grayson for 2 hours about Spider-Man, so we obviously weren't going to do it.
Of course, yeah.
Last week, we just had a bunch of other news to talk about, but this week, we're finally going to run down our MCU top 10. Some of us really thought this through, others, I'm not sure. So...
I don't know. I hate ranking things. I love it because I love making lists. That's something about me that I've just always loved making lists. But then when I try ranking things, I'm like, but I do really like this, and I do really like this. And I don't think I can pick what I like more. I just really like it. It's really hard for me because every day it changes. I have a clear cut number 1. For sure. But like 2 through 10 are just like an ever-changing list.
You can't say 2 through 10's ever-changing. That means number 10 might on different days be number 2.
Yeah,
that's a little bit far of a gap.
I'd say 1 through 5 are clear cut. Cut 1 through 5.
Fair enough.
6 through 10, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Listen, when we get to it, there's one movie that was like, could make the top 10, but it's not for my, own reasons. And there's obviously other movies that I like and enjoy and stuff like that. But I feel pretty confident with like 8 through 1. And then the other 2, like, I don't know. We'll see. But we'll get there when we get there. We got to do the fit check real quick.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Okay. I'll stand a little bit because you can see the top part of the shirt, which says Daredevil, but the bottom part of the shirt says Punisher, which is pretty fire. I think Parker got me this shirt for Christmas. It might be from Hot Topic. It might just be from Amazon. I'm sure you guys can find it if you like it, but I'm obsessed with Daredevil and Punisher. You guys know that. So I think this shirt is pretty fire.
She's got 2 badass gentlemen on her shirt, and so do I, dude. And so do I. We're talking about MCU today, but I got a Star Wars shirt on. Obi-Wan.
Like, I don't care.
You know what? We got an all-star kit. We got an ensemble on this shirt, dude.
Yes, got Grievous, Padme.
We got Yoda. We got Palps at the end there. Beautiful shirt, beautiful shirt. I haven't worn this shirt since Revenge of the Sith came out a couple of months ago, so here we are, breaking off the
Is it
cobwebs
feeling
today.
a little tight?
It's feeling a little tight, you know.
Around the lat area?
I've just been putting some muscle on as of late, you know. So I gotta keep,
gosh.
you know, when you're gaining muscle and you're eating a lot of extra food, your body's just tired and you want to take a nap. That's why we had to crack the green apple today.
I can see your head getting like bigger and bigger as we keep talking about it.
We can keep talking. Yo, do you just want to talk about like lifting this whole episode? Because
I don't. I really don't.
All right. Well, maybe next episode, guys.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
But where do you want to start today? Do you want to start some of our other stuff? Should we save the MCU top 10 for the back half of this episode?
Yeah, I think maybe we should start. Do you have like a couple like news media things, newsworthy things? Okay, we'll start with those.
Nothing too noteworthy, but obviously last week the big thing that we talked about outside of K-pop Demon Hunters, which you know, I'm about to throw on tonight. No, I'm kidding. Do a little rewatch. But we were talking about Spider-Man. Not Spider-Man. Why did I say that? Superman.
Superman.
Yeah, Superman. Man of Tomorrow. James Gunn was on the Howard Stern show 3 days ago or something like that, talking about Man of Tomorrow. And he said, because he was asked who the villain of this film was going to be. And I already seen some people talking about this, but like fans talking about this, but we kind of got more confirmation from James Gunn that Man of Tomorrow is really going to be Superman and Lex Luthor, unfortunately for them, having to work together to a certain degree against a much bigger threat. Many fans believe that's going to be Brainiac, which obviously, again, we have to state this every week. Me and you, we're still learning our DC lore.
Don't know a thing about Brainiac. Sorry, guys.
So I know he's a super intelligent alien, you know.
He sounds like he would be.
Brainiac, obviously.
Yep.
I'm still learning my lore, but that seems to be what Man of Tomorrow is going to be. Superman and Lex having to stand side by side together, which is pretty cool.
That's actually really exciting. I think because I said this in the last episode, I think, but David Cornsweet and Nicholas Hoult just have amazing chemistry. And like I said last week, they don't necessarily have a lot of scenes actually together in Superman, but you can just feel the chemistry that they have throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. And then when they are in those scenes together, they're amazing. They're just so great. And I feel like it would be a shame to not mention the media coverage and the promotion that went into the press tour for Superman. Yeah. They were great. I don't remember who the woman's name that plays Lois Lane, but she included when I say this. Yes, Bosner. Is it something like that? Am I insane?
There's an R in there. It starts with a B. It's like B-R something.
Hang on. I'll look it up while I say this.
It's Rachel something. We're going to find out in moments, folks.
Is this her? Brosnahan. I hope I'm saying that right.
I feel like you definitely did not say that right, but I'm the last person who's going to make fun of you for it.
It literally says Brosnahan right there.
Yeah, but I feel like that's not the correct pronunciation.
I don't know. Miss Rachel, beautiful woman that
that's
she is.
By the way, that's why I just said Lois Lane last week, because I didn't know how to say her last name.
I hate butchering people's names. Yeah, it's awful. Anyways, Nicholas Hoult and David Cornsweet and Rachel, they all have an amazing time on the press tour. It was so fun seeing how much chemistry the three of them had together. You can tell they just had so much fun making this movie. So it's so exciting to hear from James Gunn that David and Nicholas are going to be together a lot more, it sounds like, and maybe in a more fun dynamic between the two of them. They're going to be like frenemies throughout the movie. And I love that. Like, it's going to be such an amazing opportunity for so many fun like jokes and funny moments and fun interactions. So that's very, very exciting. I wonder if Crypto's gonna come back. I guess we'll see what happens to Crypto in Supergirl. I'm sure that'll be our next interaction with Crypto, but I would like to see a little bit of Crypto and Lex dealing with his trauma after being attacked by Crypto in the last scene of Superman.
Crypto walks in the room and he's just like, yo, back it up!
Dog, away from me. Yeah, he just hates all dogs now. Yeah.
I did see people saying that Lois Lane probably will still have a pretty major role in this, maybe bringing them together or convincing Clark that he's going to have to work alongside Lex. I don't know, but obviously she has been confirmed for Man of Tomorrow. But yeah, and then another thing I liked about this movie that I'm pretty sure is confirmed at this point is that James Gunn is directing Man of Tomorrow, which I like. I know some people weren't even a huge fan that he was directing the initial Superman movie, but I think after that came out, a lot of people were like, oh, I don't know why we doubted him, which is like silly. Why would you have doubted him? And I get not wanting to have a James Gunn feel on every single DC project moving forward just because he's in charge. But like Superman stuff specifically, I feel like he should just stick with. Just like Guardians is like his, like he should just stick with Superman at this point. I don't want to see anybody else coming in and changing up the feel of what we had in this initial Superman movie 2 months ago. Like, that's what I want to 100%. Just carry right into Man of Tomorrow.
Yep, 100%. And I think us as Star Wars fans can attest to that. Having different directors for a trilogy is literally can be disastrous. And I feel like there's almost no scenario where it goes well. I think it makes way more sense to have the same director handle the same storyline and plotline and character arc when you're talking about a singular hero or group. Guardians of the Galaxy. It's way better when, if you have a trilogy in mind, you keep the same director.
Yeah.
Dude, like after the sequels, I think we're all a little bit traumatized by the lack of vision and the lack of direction that they had going into those movies. So clearly James Gunn knows what he's doing. He knows Superman, and he has a clear idea of who he wants this Superman in the DCU to be. And I think now, like you said, everyone has a lot more faith in James Gunn. Why they wouldn't have faith in James Gunn to begin with, I have no idea. As a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, I think that's kind of crazy that anyone would have any reason to not believe he would do well. Like,
it's one thing if he was going into Superman with a bunch of L's, but he wasn't.
Yeah,
so like, exactly. I don't know why there was confusion.
Yeah, I have no idea why anyone would think that anyone would doubt that he would be able to pull that off. But he's amazing. I have every bit of confidence in him moving forward with Superman and with the DCU. I know we've talked about it several times, but like the DCU is about to I think we're entering into what should be called a renaissance for the DCU. And that's coming from someone who doesn't have much or really a lot of knowledge about the DC universe. But when I'm talking about the cinematic DCU, we're going to have a lot of installments, and we have no reason to believe that it's not going to go well. With how Superman went and with how confident James Gunn is, I'm pretty sure, I haven't seen Peacemaker season 2, but I'm pretty sure it's being pretty well received right now.
Yeah.
I don't think there should be any doubt that the DCU isn't about to have an amazing run over the next few years.
Supergirl's got a lot of hype around it. I'm seeing like set photos every day from Clayface, it seems, and that's every time I see something and people are hyped about it, so I'm like, oh, this must be good. Like, obviously, again, like I don't want to keep reiterating it, but we're learning our DC, so the more positivity we see, the more it's exciting for us. It's like, all right, well, we want to keep getting into this. If it was nothing but negativity surrounding DC, we'd be like, well, why do we even want to invest our time? But no, I'm hyped. And funny you said Peacemaker, because he also briefly brung up on same thing on the Howard Stern interview. He was talking about how, I don't know how they got on this topic, but he said that he originally had Dave Batista in mind when writing Peacemaker and when going to cast Peacemaker, and probably old Dave Batista, Drax, and obviously they worked together in Guardians of the Galaxy, would have been Peacemaker, but he had another movie on the table that were paying him more, and he ultimately just had to go choose the other movie. And then, it's funny because he went and chose John Cena. Batista and John Cena. Oh, here we go, wrestling talk here. You know, they were just like this for multiple years in WWE, just riding each other's coattails. I mean, John Cena was a little bit ahead because he was like the main, guy, and Batista didn't want to be that, face of the company. But here they are again. Dude, Batista was about to be Peacemaker, and then he said no. And then who takes his spot? John Cena. I thought that was just super interesting as the wrestling fan that he revealed that.
And it's no secret that James Gunn loves his Guardians cast. I mean, in Superman, how many Guardians of the Galaxy cameos are there? Palm, who plays Mantis, is the voice of one of the Superman robots, as well as the man who plays Yondu, the amazing Michael Rooker, is one of the voices of the Superman robots. You see, oh my gosh, I forget his real name, but you see the guy that plays Kraglin make a really fun appearance. He's like, if there's one thing that conservatives and liberals can agree on, it's that Lex Luthor sucks. Hilarious cameo, amazing line. I forget his real name, please forgive me. I know who he is. I can't remember his name right now. And then I feel like there was another one that I'm missing. Oh, Bradley Cooper is literally Superman's biological father, and he is the voice of Rocket. If you guys don't know that, I love how James Gunn he loves his Guardians cast so much, he's bringing them over in these fun cameos and fun ways. So I have no doubt that he will somehow bring Dave Batista into the
Dude,
DCU.
you know I would love it, especially because like Batista, I'm pretty sure has been on record to say not that he like hates Marvel or anything like that, but it's like, listen, I'm probably not going to do anything unless James Gunn's there.
Yeah.
And James Gunn's not there anymore. He's in DC, so I'm pretty sure like if Batista's going to do anything superhero wise, it would be in the DC, and I would be ecstatic for that, dude. Are you kidding me?
Me too. I mean, Dave Batista, just Drax as a character, I don't think anyone could have made the Marvel fans fall in love with Drax as a character the way that Dave Batista did. And you don't do comedic relief like Dave Batista as Drax. Like that is just it was perfect. Like, what is the one line that everyone talks about from Infinity War? Why is Gamora? An improvised line by Dave Batista. Like, it's so funny, a hilarious moment, and among many other moments that Dave Batista has as Drax. And it is so sad that I mean, this isn't confirmed, but I don't believe there is any other aspect that we will see Drax again in the Marvel Universe. Maybe a surprise cameo in the future. Mm-hmm. You never know with Secret Wars and everything, but I think it would be fun to see Dave Batista take on some kind of role in the DC Universe. What that role would be, I have no idea. Like we keep saying, I don't have extensive knowledge of the list of heroes and villains and whatnot that the DCU has to offer, but I know Dave Batista would be amazing in any role that James Gunn provided for him. So
listen, John Cena, great, but I think it's pretty universally agreed upon that Batista is the best wrestler turned actor, and Cena's right behind him in my opinion. But yeah, Batista's great. We're going to talk about him later because we're going to end up talking about Guardians 1.
Yep.
Both individually, we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, I just thought that was super interesting. And yeah, if Batista in some way, shape, or form ends up in the DC... I don't know if Peacemaker has an enemy that has yet to be televised, but if he does, and Batista fits the role, oh my gosh, cast Batista and let them go at it, dude. It's going to be SummerSlam 2008 on the DC screen, bro. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. And then if you let him do his machine gun... Oh, hang on. I'll restart. Hang on, guys.
Batista started...
If you let him do his machine gun entrance, like, come on, guys. Like,
I'm sure Peacemaker has given somebody an attitude adjustment at this point. Come on now. Oh, that's so great. But I had to mention that because I thought it was super cool. Speaking of Marvel, however, there was not much talk about... There hasn't been much talk in general about Avengers Doomsday. Even last week we were talking about the D23 stuff. They were pretty minute. But there was like this little teaser that the Russos put out earlier this week that was literally a blurry picture of a chalkboard and you couldn't make out any of it. I don't know if you saw this.
I didn't.
But well, you know what? I'll pull it up for you real quick as we're talking. But they literally just pulled this hold on, Russo brothers.
They put this on their Instagram?
I don't know if it's on their Instagram. Hold on. This is it right here.
Oh yeah, it is.
Is it? Yeah. For
this
anybody
is
who doesn't
so
know
odd. Yeah, like
this is all they posted, but it's obviously like a Doomsday teaser, and a lot of people are like, "That's Reed Richards' chalkboard." I'm like, I mean, maybe.
It has to be.
I don't know. We're gonna maybe after we're gonna get obviously the follow up of that Fantastic Four post credit scene. I don't know where Reed is. Maybe he got beat up. Maybe he's taking a nap or something like that. Maybe Doom's taking his multiversal travel plans off that chalkboard. But that was the only thing they said. They're breadcrumbing us with these Doomsday teasers. I know we still have a while to go, but like, come on now.
That's an awful teaser. Like, that's that's crazy. I mean, it's really funny, and I'm glad we're getting something. But if a breadcrumb is exactly what that is. I wouldn't even call that a crumb.
You can't even make out a line or anything on that. Also talking about Doomsday, Chris Evans. I don't know. He was on some red carpet this last week. And I mean, I'm just saying, guy was looking in Steve Rogers shape.
He was looking in peak physique. Like, he looked so good. He looked very Captain America-esque, if you will. Yes. He looked like he was ready to go. Whether that means, I mean, a lot of people are speculating, oh yeah, he is coming back as Captain America in Doomsday. But that could also mean it might not even be Doomsday. It might be Secret Wars. The way, we were talking about how Doomsday and Secret Wars are coming back coming out like very, very close together within a year of each other. Doomsday next December and
Yeah.
Secret Wars the following December in 2027. And I know that with Infinity War and Endgame, they were films very, very close together, it almost really at the same time.
Yeah.
So that could be the same. They're wrapping up filming with Doomsday, which only means they're going to start getting right into Secret Wars filming. So I feel like we're way more likely to get him in Secret Wars than we are in Doomsday. Of course, we would love to see him again in Doomsday because it comes out sooner.
Yeah.
But I think it makes more sense that we would see him in Secret Wars. But he does. There's no explaining the physique change.
I mean, listen,
it's
not like he got out of shape over the last couple of years. He's always looked good, but there's
everyone knows that
level.
Superhero physique, it takes a lot out of actors, and they hold themselves to a higher accountability when they're building themselves into that physical form.
Just looking absolutely like Greek gods out there, man.
Yeah. And he turned it around really, really fast. Like you said, it's not like he looked any like horrible before or anything like that. I mean,
he probably just dropped a couple of LBs, you know?
Yeah, and he was just doing the Materialist press tour, and he did not look the way that he does right now. He did not look like that. You know what I mean? He's been working. Chris Evans, you look amazing. We love you. I can't wait. I mean, he could be gearing up for another role. It's all speculation at this point.
This guy is getting ready to be dancing with Peggy in his living room, and Dr. Doom's about to come knocking on the door. That's what's going on.
That would be crazy.
Oh, yeah, dude, I saw that, and again, this is just feeding into the breadcrumbs. This doesn't even have anything directly to do with them giving us rumors. This is pure just, hey, look, it's Chris Evans, and here's fan speculation, but that's just where the juice is sometimes. And I was just, everyone was talking about it, everyone was sharing the picture, like, yo, this guy's looking like Steve Rogers again, and I'm like,
he really does, man. He looks really, really good. So, hey, I love speculation. It's fun to speculate. So, I hope it's true. I hope it's true in either Doomsday or Secret Wars.
Or both. And more.
Or both.
Give me it all.
Always. Bring him back forever.
Care. Let's go till he's 90, like Hugh Jackman. Last thing, like random note-wise here, and it also plays into Doomsday. This is actually something we could have talked about last week, but I completely missed it. It was Channing Tatum. You probably saw it at this point. I think he had an interview with Variety.
Yes,
yeah, and he was talking about, you know, the Doomsday and the Russos, and talked about how they're not going full Cajun with Gambit in Doomsday. And the quote was, "I'm not going to go full Cajun. The Russos want things to be funny, but they don't want to go full Deadpool." Thank you. They want to keep the drama and keep it tight, and when Gambit gets serious, when he drops the Mardi Gras mask, things do matter. I absolutely love this, and the Russos have given us some of the best versions of characters over the years. Like, and obviously these are characters that have had their solo movies, but in these ensemble movies, some of them shine even more than they do in other movies. And listen, Channing Tatum, I thought, did great in Deadpool and Wolverine, but at the end of the day, it is a Deadpool movie, and we are talking about Avengers Doomsday, and I'm just going to count Secret Wars in. I don't know if Channing Tatum's going to be in Secret Wars, but let's just assume. These are extremely serious, you know, movies. These are Avengers movies. This is what it all culminates to. This is what, you know, everything matters in these movies. I don't want to see, you know, Deadpool in here breaking the fourth wall and, you know, making poo-poo jokes when we're trying to talk about Doctor Doom. Like, so I don't, and obviously that we're talking about Channing Tatum here, but Channing Tatum's Gambit although had some great action, had some great moments, was very comedic in Deadpool and Wolverine. And although he looked fire, I don't want him to come into Doomsday and be that same comedic guy. And don't get me wrong, Gambit, you know, we've both watched X-Men 97 and X-Men the animated series from the 90s, has his comedic moments just like anybody else, but he's a very serious character, has this incredible backstory. That's what we want to see fleshed out. And not even just Doomsday and Secret Wars, but beyond with the Gambit character, whether it's Channing Tatum or not. So when I read this, I was like, thank goodness the Russos get it. I'm not worried about Gambit specifically at all. And I don't know what they're going to do with Deadpool, but...
And yeah, I don't think I was ever necessarily worried about Gambit whenever they announced on the chairs that he was going to be in Avengers Doomsday. I was very, very glad. You're talking to the one person in the theater during Deadpool and Wolverine that was freaking out when Gambit's card like slow-mo flew into frame. Like, I was freaking out. And then when he stepped out, then a couple people in the theater were like, oh my gosh, You guys,
I said it. I saw it first.
No, but like, listen, Gambit is my favorite Marvel character of all time. Of all time, my favorite superhero ever. So it is. You can tell in Deadpool that they played up his Cajun accent to form jokes. You know, to be the butt of many jokes.
Yeah.
It was literally they did it on purpose for, like I said, for the sake of jokes, and that's fine. It's a relief to hear. I mean, I wasn't really worried about it. Like, I didn't think that they were going to keep doing that. Like, I think it was very obvious that they played into that aspect of him for the jokes. But it is nice to hear that, like, he's not going to go full Cajun. I don't think that anyone has to worry about that, meaning, like, oh, he's not going to have his Cajun accent. Yes, he is. He's Gambit. Like, yes, he is. But he's not going to be, like...
the butt of every joke.
You're not going to be able to...
Accent.
Well, yeah, you're not going to be able to not understand what he's saying. You know, you're going to be able to understand what he's saying, and it's not going to be like ineligible. So, I think that's the word that I'm looking for.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be amazing. I can't wait for Channing Tatum to get another chance to play Gambit, and in a more serious form, like you said, not necessarily in a fun and silly Deadpool and Wolverine movie, which was great. To see him in that movie, it was great to see him in that. I'm not the biggest fan of Deadpool, but I got Gambit out of it, so I don't care. So I am excited for Channing Tatum that he gets to take a more serious route with Gambit, and I'm so excited to see his powers more fleshed out in live action. I'm excited to see the role that he takes on with the conflict with Doom, whether it's large or small, but it sounds like he's really excited about it, so I'm really excited about it.
Well, I don't know if it was in this interview or another, but he pretty much flat out said that Gambit has a fight with Dr. Doom, and I was like,
did he?
Were you supposed to say that? But
interesting.
I don't know. Well, maybe he just was messing up his words. Maybe he was lying. I don't know. But point is, I'm freaking hyped. We see those Gambit pops back there. What do you got? Like 4 of them lined up.
Yeah, I have
Gambit
3 right there, and I
that's my guy.
I love him so much. So I literally cannot wait to see him again. And then I'm excited to see him again in X-Men 97 season 2, which comes out next year. And then in whatever way they bring back the X-Men into the MCU, you know, Gambit has to be a major player. So yeah, I cannot wait for Doomsday. Dude. I can't believe I even get to say that we're getting Gambit in Doomsday, especially Channing Tatum's Gambit, because he deserves. I just always think about like how amazing it could have been if Channing Tatum, when he was the age that he was when he was cast to do that solo Gambit movie, like what we could have had if he was able to go through with that project. Like he was so ready for it. He was so excited for it. And when I listen to like interviews of him talking about it at the time and how excited he was for it and how passionate he was about Gambit, like that's the kind of people that you want playing your superheroes. How passionate David Cornsweet is about Superman, how passionate Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., they are about their superheroes and how much they put into getting ready for those roles. 100%. That's exactly how Channing Tatum was for Gambit. So the fact that he's able to come back and continue as Gambit is just like amazing.
Dude, just because you briefly reminded me of it, I watched X2 the other night. And it just pains me how much those Fox X-Men movies
I can't even watch that. No.
Dude.
It's so
like,
bad.
It sucks because they have some incredible casting. I almost just pulled my headphones off. They have some incredible casting in those movies, but the movies stink. I'm sorry.
Bad. Like,
some are better than others, but I'm watching this movie, and I literally turned it off after an hour. I was like, I'm done with this.
No, it's bad.
It's just,
bad.
They're so all over the place, and they're trying to, like, introduce so many different mutants at once, and I'm glad that Gambit isn't that involved in some of those movies, even though Mystique at one point's going through like one of the computers and it says like Remy LeBeau or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But besides that, I'm like, I can't wait for Channing Tatum in Avengers Doomsday, and whether Channing Tatum stays as Gambit or not post Secret Wars, you know, doubtful. I don't know. I'm very doubtful, but they better keep this outfit. You know, this is the first time we're getting a comic accurate, Gambit. Yeah. So don't be switching that up, Marvel.
The only thing that I hope that they change about his outfit is that his cowl, I think that's what it's called, the thing that comes up around his face. I hope that they bring it up to like cover a bit of his chin like it's supposed to. This is so nitpicky, but Excuse me.
Channing Tatum does have kind of a big head though, so maybe they did have it and he was like, guys, I can't breathe.
Oh no, it literally like came up right here, so it was kind of like shoving his face forward in a weird way, I feel like. So if they just bring it up right here, then it would just look so clean. So I really hope that they make that small adjustment, which is so nitpicky and it's so small and it seems like it doesn't matter to everybody, but clearly like I'm someone like me is gonna say that.
Sure.
Do they have it on that pot behind me? No, it's kind of like in the movie in that pot behind me. So, I mean, it's fine. But
I know what you mean, though.
Just me.
If anybody doesn't know what you mean, just go look up like X-Men animated stuff and you'll see what she's talking about. All right. That's all for the news stuff. We're a half hour in. I think I got a couple blind rankings here. How about we just do one of them? Because I feel like one's going to take long enough and then we can get into our MCU top 10. So this week I did a blind ranking for Laney over here. And then next week she's going to come up with something for me to blind rank as well. Because we were doing Marvel top 10, I decided to stick with the Marvel theme, but kind of pick some movies that maybe some of them will be in your top 10 or...
oh gosh.
Honestly, probably not. But there's 9 movies here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have you blind. No. Trust. I got my notepad. I'm gonna keep track of it for you.
Okay.
9 movies here. It is the second installment in all these MCU franchises.
Oh.
So
wow. Okay.
I'm gonna list some of these off 1 through 9, and you're gonna tell me where they land.
Okay.
So obviously second installment in MCU franchises. So we're starting off.
We're talking sequels. Okay.
Yeah, we're talking sequels. We're starting off Iron Man 2. You have 9 spots.
That makes it so much harder, dude. Okay.
Nah, dude.
Okay. Iron Man 2 is very like middle of the road for me. I don't hate Iron Man 2 the way a lot of people do. But I think the villain is really silly, and I didn't really like the villain. But you get so many amazing Iron Man moments in Iron Man 2. I'm going to put it at 5.
Put it at 5. That's this is the Mickey Rourke one, correct? He's the villain. I only know him because he gets knocked out by Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 25.
Does he?
Yeah, because he did a movie called The Wrestler, and he was an independent wrestler, and then that guy...
I didn't know that.
He did something with WWE, and then this is Iron Man 2 is like only a couple years after that, so this is kind of during his little
He's the Russian that's like,
run.
I want my bird. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that guy.
Right.
So Iron Man 2 at 5, all right.
Okay.
Next up, some of these are going to be funny, because I know they're going to be low.
I know.
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh my gosh. Like... there's only one movie that I can think of that's worse than that one. But I gotta really think. Hang on. So like, oh man. I'm gonna put it at 8.
8.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it's really
Strange.
bad. Like, it's really bad. It's a horrible ending for Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch. It's awful, honestly. The cameos that they had were silly, unnecessary, and they were a horrible injustice to all of those characters that made cameos. And it's just, it doesn't even feel like a Doctor Strange movie. And then you got America Chavez in it, which just makes less sense. Like, none of it makes any sense. And then the horrible ending that they gave Scarlet Witch is just awful. So anyways.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness lands at number 8 of 9. All right, next up. A movie that I think is not necessarily great, but it's a little overhated. Thor: The Dark World. Thor 2.
Yeah. Thor, it's not bad.
Not a bad movie.
It's not bad. It's not great by any means.
Not great.
So...
it's a good middle-of-the-road movie.
It is. I don't think it's anything to viscerally hate on.
If this movie came out, if this was, and obviously the story wouldn't necessarily make sense, but if this was the initial Thor movie, it gets way more hate than it already does, because it's like, this is the first impression, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of, like, other sequels and, like, keep them in mind. I know that we got Winter Soldier, we got Age of Ultron, we have, oh my gosh, we got Thor not Thor Ragnarok, that's the third movie. Oh my gosh.
What?
Frick, I'm getting so confused.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it at 6. I'll put it at 6.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair for what we have to come. Thor Dark World at 6. All right. Next up, I think we just talked about this within the last week with Grayson. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Technically is a sequel, even though Chadwick Boseman is not in it, but it's technically still.
I'm not gonna lie to anyone. I have not seen this movie because I don't want to.
Fair.
I love Chadwick Boseman, and I just don't want to watch. I understand that this movie is meant to honor him and show remembrance of him in all those ways, but I just don't want to watch this movie because it's not him. You know, it's not him. So I haven't seen this movie. I've read about the plot. I know everything that happens. So I'm gonna put it at 7.
7?
Yeah.
I thought you were just gonna say 9. That's surprising.
Nope, there's one worse. So it better be in there. It better be in this list.
I'm pretty sure I got all the sequels here. All right. Wakanda Forever at 7. Some people think it is an incredibly disrespectful movie, and then there's people who are on the other side of the spectrum who think it does a beautiful tribute. So I don't know. I haven't watched it either. I don't have any
strong feelings about the movie at all whatsoever. I know that the intention was to honor him, so whether people think it was disrespectful or not, I have no idea. I don't have any strong feelings about it. So yeah, I'm just gonna put it at 7. I don't think the story is great. I don't think it's very interesting. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, Wakanda Forever at number 7. Next up, we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Love it. It's so good. I
have a follow-up question that I don't think will spoil your top 10 either, so I'll ask that after this.
Okay.
But you can rank this first.
I'm gonna put it at.
You have 1 through 4 and the number 9 spot.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my god. I'm scared. Because I feel like there's one I'm not thinking of, and I'm really scared. I love Guardians 2, and I think people hate it for no reason. I think it has a beautiful message. I think we have great moments, and the Yondu sacrifice is just like one of my favorite Marvel moments ever. So I think I'm gonna put it at 2.
2?
Yeah.
So the follow-up question, and I think I like Guardians 2 better than Guardians 3, honestly. Even though I love Guardians 3, but it's like kind of sad, and like I'm more connected to like Star-Lord and Drax, and like
yes, actually,
and like Rocket's great, but like
yeah,
that movie's focused on Rocket and his backstory and him taking over the Guardians, and I'm just like it doesn't hit for me because I'm not as attached to Rocket. So I like Guardians 2 more. Which one do you prefer?
I agree.
Guardians 1.
I like Guardians 2 more. And for the same reason, really, I connect with Star-Lord a lot more. I love that character a lot more. And while I feel for Rocket, and Rocket has a great character arc, and Rocket has an amazing arc in Guardians 2 that I enjoy more than the ending of his arc, if you will, in Guardians 3. Like, I love the way that Yondu and Rocket are able to connect on similar past experiences and shared trauma and stuff like that in Guardians 2. Love it. But like, yeah, I do enjoy Guardians 2 more than Guardians 3. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't necessarily love the scenes of Floor and Teefs and Lila. I think they're creepy and weird and annoying, and I understand that makes me heartless. I don't really care, honestly.
Well, it's just I feel weird watching them. Like, you know what it is? I'm straight up like I'm watching in Guardians 3, like watching like these animals, and they're all like clearly got like operated and tested on, and I can't help but think of like my dog in that position, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this.
And it makes you uncomfortable. And yes, and you know what? And that's the point. It's supposed to make you sad and make you feel uncomfortable because it is sad. It's horrific what those animals have to go through. And, you know, I love when Rocket saves all the animals in the end, and it feels like he kind of gets that redemption of like, he left them all behind the first time he left whatever that guy's name is. Oh my gosh, I forget. What's the villain's name?
Hold on, give me a second here.
Frick.
Well,
oh my gosh, why can't I think of his name?
The High Evolutionary.
High Evolutionary. I knew it was a the. I just didn't know what came after that.
He got his face ripped off,
The High Evolutionary, yes. Rubber face man. I don't... he was amazing. That actor did amazing as that character, and he was a really cool villain. But yeah, I enjoy Guardians 2 more. Yeah.
And again, I'm just like... And this goes for like the Guardians team moving forward too. It's like Rocket, Groot, Adam Warlock, whoever the hell else is on, like, it just like
Yeah.
doesn't hit for me, like, and that kind of takes a damper on Guardians 3 too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like Guardians 2 more. All
Yep.
right, so Guardians 2 is at the number 2 spots. You have 1, 3, 4, and 9 left. You
Okay.
ready? And I can't wait to see what's gonna land at 9 out of these 4.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't think I watched this recently. It's not a bad movie. Just the most important scene of it is the post-credit scene.
You know what's bad is that I kept thinking that Quantumania was the second one because I forgot about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, completely forgot about that movie. I don't think it's a bad movie, and I love that we get Ghost in that movie, but I've seen that movie maybe once or twice, and I never want to see it again. I'm going to put it at 9. Like, I don't care about this movie at all.
Yeah. I mean, in comparison to the rest that are to come, I figured this would land at 9.
Yeah.
I'll ask after if you would rearrange any of these. Yeah, I just watched this, like, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago. It's not a bad movie. It's
incredibly
good.
Mid.
Yeah, it's just a good, it's a fine movie. The whole time I knew that at some point Thanos snaps his fingers and this guy gets stuck in the quantum realm, but that doesn't happen until the post-credit scene, and I'm like, that's the most important thing in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Which you don't get that post-credit scene without the rest of the movie, so like you need it to make sense, but still, I was just like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Next up, Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Number one.
Number one.
Yep.
Not arguable.
No.
A legendary, fantastic movie. Some would say this is where the MCU really put its stamp that they were here to stay. The Winter Soldier. Next up, Spider-Man: Far From Home. You have 3 and 4, so
it's 4. Yeah, it's 4.
Okay.
I like Spider-Man: Far From Home. I honestly, when you ask me later, I'll tell you how I'd rearrange it. I don't love it. It's also incredibly mid, in my opinion. Mysterio is so cool. Like, so cool. I loved Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. The suit looks amazing. Like, he looks so cool in this movie. But I think the whole elemental thing was dumb. I like Peter's arc, and I like how he's dealing with Tony's death and everything like that. But it still just feels like he just keeps making the worst possible decisions. And in this movie, like, it was kind of annoying in Homecoming, but in this movie it gets so old. Like, in this movie was when I was like, okay, I'm so tired of this Peter Parker, like, always making the worst decision. Like, I can't. He makes so many mistakes in this movie. It's like, and he is human, and that's fine. But it's like, he's supposed to be incredibly intelligent, you guys, and he makes the dumbest mistakes ever. Anyways, yeah, so I can live with that being a 4.
Not a Far From Home fan. I mean, it's probably the worst of the Tom Holland trilogy. I think pretty universally people 100%. Would say that.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a bad movie. I told this to Grayson. I was like, after watching Far From Home, like, you totally understand why everybody is clamoring for, like, just a street level Spider-Man movie. Yeah. And that's without even getting to No Way Home, right?
Yeah.
And then last but not least, obviously this lands at your 3 spot, Age of Ultron.
Yeah, Age of Ultron, like, I feel perfect about my top 3. Yeah, the top 3 is perfect. Age of Ultron is, I like Age of Ultron. Some people don't like that Ultron was, like, easily defeated. The voice actor for Ultron, again, don't know his name, did so well. Like, the delivery of all of his lines is so great and so chilling, and I love it. You get the first interaction with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Amazing. How weak Quicksilver was in that movie, I hate that. But, for Fox reasons, I'm pretty sure is why they had to kill him off, which was really annoying. See that coming. Honestly, yeah, really annoying. Like, Quicksilver is fast enough to move bullets out of the way. At least the Fox Quicksilver is. It's one of the best things Fox ever did with the X-Men was the way that they handled Quicksilver. Evan Peters is amazing as Quicksilver, by the way. But anyways, I digress.
So, you're 1 through 9 here. We have Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Far From Home. Iron Man 2. Thor: The Dark World. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Multiverse of Madness. Ant-Man and the Wasp. What are you switching?
So I would flip-flop Far From Home and Iron Man 2.
Okay, so Far From Home would be 5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I would move Ant-Man and the Wasp up to above Wakanda Forever.
So then Doctor Strange also gets pushed back?
Yep. So Multiverse of Madness is 9.
Multiverse of Madness would be 9. Ant-Man and the Wasp would be 7. Wakanda Forever in the middle. Okay. I think that's fair. Fair.
Yeah.
There's not many hot takes here, I don't think. I think there's a pretty fair number 9. That's why I was trying to go with, like, movies that we probably aren't going to necessarily talk about in our top 10.
No, they were fun. That was fun. I like that.
I was like, all right, second installment. So, yeah, she's got a whole week to do her homework, guys, and she'll come back with some kind of blind ranking. It doesn't have to be Marvel-related. It can literally be... It could be energy drinks for all we care, but she's going to give you some kind of blind rank next week. But anyway, write that down. Zoa 1 or 2. I don't know. Find out next week.
Oh my god.
But anyway, we got our MCU top 10 specifically. So those are just, a fun little blind ranking. But now we have our actual get down and nitty gritty. There's like 3 weeks of anticipation on this top 10. I don't think I got any hot takes on here necessarily. And again, I will preference this, and I'm going to clip me saying this out for both of our individual TikToks when we post our top 10. These are our personal favorite top 10 MCU movies. The GOAT conversation versus our favorite conversation are two different conversations. These are just our personal favorite top 10 MCU movies.
Yep.
Who wants to go first?
You go first.
All right. Running down, and then we'll go back with explanation later?
Yeah, start from 10 and go.
Okay, so just running them down. My personal MCU top 10 will explain a little bit more in depth afterwards. So at number 10, Avengers Endgame. At number 9, Thunderbolts. At number 8, Captain America the First Avenger. Number 7, we have Fantastic Four First Steps. Number 6, this might be the most surprising thing on here to some people. We have Avengers Age of Ultron at number 6.
Wow.
Number 5, we have Guardians 1. Number 4, I got Infinity War. Number 3, we have Captain America Civil War. Number 2, we have Captain America the Winter Soldier. And number 1, the first Avengers movie. Avengers 1 and Revenge of the Sith, my 2 favorite movies of all time. Wow. So obviously Avengers 1 is my number 1 favorite MCU movie of all time.
Wow. I was not expecting your number 1 to be Avengers 1, honestly. I don't know why. I just feel like maybe we just haven't talked about it yet. But, I mean, I think you know what my number 1 is. But, yeah, I guess so. We'll just talk about it later.
Well, I was going to, you'll explain why, or
but
I'll
there's
just wait.
There's 2, though, that I want you to talk about. I know why Captain America the First Avenger is on there for you, but how about you explain why Captain America... You said 8, right?
Yeah, it's number 8 for me.
Okay.
We're doing that now, or you want to do your top 10 first? Okay.
No,
Captain America has become my favorite superhero at all of Marvel. Wolverine has always been that guy for me, even before I was super into MCU or trying to get into the DC or anything, just superhero stuff in general. Always a Hugh Jackman Wolverine guy. But ever since diving deep into the MCU the past few years, I love Chris Evans, Steve Rogers. I think his portrayal of the character is phenomenal. And First Avengers, where it all starts. I mean, obviously, Avengers is only a year later, and obviously things came out a little bit in different order, but technically the story of the MCU starts with Captain America First Avenger. He's the guy that kicks it all off. I love that it goes back to like the 1940s or whatever, and World War II was like the backdrop of this whole movie, and he goes from this scrawny kid to this super soldier. I love obviously the dynamic between him and Peggy. I personally think it's super emotional. I know some people are like, oh, he should have stayed with Bucky and not going back to Peggy, but like if it all goes back to this movie, and I think you see why Steve goes back to Peggy in Avengers Endgame. I know you're not a big fan of it. Yeah, that's fine. But this movie also, you get Red Skull in here, which I thought was a great villain. It introduces I guess technically just again in the story of the MCU, because everything came out a little bit out of order. It's the first time we introduced the Tesseract on screen. I don't know. I think there's just a lot of cool things in this movie. And again, Captain America being my favorite guy, Steve Rogers being my favorite guy.
Makes sense.
This is where it all kicks off. I had to put it on here.
I understand. And then what about Age of Ultron? I feel like that's a hot take. Age of Ultron in your top 10.
Age of Ultron is underrated. And I don't want to say overhated as well, because I don't think it really gets a lot of hate. I think Endgame gets a lot of hate, which we could talk about. But Age of Ultron, do I think it's the worst of the Avengers movies? Yeah, but like I think it's placed number 4, but it's not because it's bad. Like, I
It's
still
because the
think
bar is set very, very high.
the bar is
And
set extremely high.
And like
Yes.
I feel like at the time when Age of Ultron came out, it wasn't, I don't know, because I obviously was very young when Age of Ultron came out. I don't remember what year that was. Maybe 2016,
2014 or 2015?
2014. Okay.
2015. One of the two.
Okay. So 3 years after the first Avengers came out. And I'm pretty sure it was relatively well received at the time. With hindsight, now we have Infinity War, The Winter Soldier. We have all these movies
Yeah.
that like are clearly better than Avengers, and people expect the Avengers movies to be the best of the best, as they should expect them to be that way. But like you said, Age of Ultron is the weakest of the Avengers movies, but that does not mean that it's a bad movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is the one, and people say this all the time, this is the Avengers movie where they actually feel the most like a family in this movie. The movie kicks off and they're all fighting side by side. The dinner party scene, I think, is great.
Yeah.
James Spader's Ultron in this is phenomenal. Like, that's, like, you were
Yep.
saying a couple weeks ago about, Harry Osborn actor, I'm sorry, Norman Osborn actor.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is. Why am I forgetting? It's such a common movie.
It's Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe, like, you just hang on every word he says, and it's so enjoyable. Like, James Spader has one of those
It's the exact same
voices
way.
with Ultron for me. I would love if there's a way we can get more Ultron on our screen.
Well, let me tell you something that I saw the other day. So the Vision series is coming out next year. White Vision is out and about. We haven't seen him since he left in WandaVision. White Vision is getting his own series, and Ultron is going to be in the series.
Well, there you go, dude. And I'm not a big series guy, but looks like I might have to watch.
Might have to see that.
No, I love Age of Ultron. I remember seeing it in theaters. It's there's so many good moments in there we could see here all day, and I like that this is the last Avengers movie before Civil War comes out, and the fact that they feel so much like a family in this, because then the time you get to Civil War, it's the complete opposite, and it makes Civil War that much better. So no, I love Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I think my favorite thing about Age of Ultron is the foreshadowing. Like, you see that Tony's sense of impending doom, like that he feels, is
doom.
I did say doom, didn't I? Like the sense of impending doom that he feels, like he knows that this great threat is coming, but he doesn't know what it is, but he knows it's coming, and the other Avengers don't believe that this feeling that he has is justifiable to go to great lengths as to put a suit of armor around the world. They don't agree with him in that way. He knows that he feels the need to do everything he can to prevent this thing from happening. So the foreshadowing in Age of Ultron is just, it's so heavy. He even says that's the end game, and that's where we get Endgame.
That scene right after Ultron breaks out of the Avengers Tower, and Thor's like, this happened because you played with something you didn't know about. That whole scene is phenomenal, dude. I love the tension in that scene.
Everything between Tony and Cap in that scene where he's like, how do we fight that? And Cap says, together. And Tony says, we'll lose. And Cap says, and we'll do that together too. And then when they run that back in Endgame, and he says, you said we'll lose, and you said we'll do that together too. We lost and you weren't there.
Which is so God. Like, man, such a low blow. She's like, where was he supposed to be? You were in space, son of a bitch.
It's I don't think it's that low of a blow. I think Cap is just, Cap was there. They were just in different places. But like, Tony was about to call Cap. Like, but they should have been together. The Avengers should have been together. They shouldn't have broken up. Like, if they had been together, then they all would have been there to fight that big fight, with Thanos in space. They all would have gone together. So, like, I know what Tony's saying. But yeah, so that's why I love Age of Ultron. The foreshadowing is so heavy and you feel it. And like, us as the audience, we know Thanos is coming, but they don't. So it's just really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are my top 10. I can give you some quick hits on the rest of the movies if you so desire as to why.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Endgame, like I said, I think it's a little overhated. Like, nobody can talk about Endgame anymore without mentioning that Infinity War is better. I know Infinity War is better. I agree, but we can still appreciate Endgame for what it is. And listen, I don't think Endgame's some perfect movie. Does it get a little all over the place at times? Sure. Do I like the portrayal of Thor and Hulk? Absolutely not. But I think the good outweighs the bad in this movie, and the amount of callbacks, and like, sometimes callbacks can feel a little cheap, but not in this movie, because it's 10 years worth of build-up, and all the callbacks are to meaningful moments and references to other Marvel stuff. Like, there's so much in this movie, and the payoff at the end is just phenomenal. The portal scene is absolutely legendary. Obviously, being a Captain America guy, he kind of gets a backseat in Infinity War in, I don't think, a bad way, but come Endgame, he's in the whole movie. He absolutely shines. He gets his moments. Like, Endgame's a great performance for him. I absolutely love Endgame. I mean, again, I agree Infinity War is better. It's number 10, but it deserved to be on here. Thunderbolts was something I said last week. I wasn't sure if it was going to end up in my top 10, but after watching it again and after really sitting with it, I had to put it on here, dude. Like, the rest of the Marvel movies, or at least a good chunk of them, like, you're seeing all these men and women, these superheroes, like, and you try to, like, see yourself in them, and it's like these perfect versions of, like, people you want to be. But then in Thunderbolts, it kind of, like, brings you back down to reality and, like, hits more home, and it's like, these are, like, people who actually, like, have gone through the worst of it, and I don't know, you see these, like, flawed, broken, miserable people, and they're able to come together and still do something great. The messaging in Thunderbolts is great. The jokes are great. And I can't wait to get more of that team, honestly. So Thunderbolts had to be in here. Fantastic Four, we obviously talked about a lot a couple of weeks ago when the podcast first started. Absolutely great movie. Exactly what I thought the Fantastic Four needed to be to bring them into the MCU. Guardians 1 has literally a little bit of everything. Action, comedy, sad moments, fantastic moments. The found family dynamic between all these guys is absolutely great. And obviously, as we mentioned earlier, I way more like the Guardians team, the OG Guardians team, compared to the new one. I like Star-Lord. I obviously love Drax, Gamora, who we failed to mention also. And dude, the only reason I went and saw this movie in theaters in 2014 was because it was like, yo, Dave Bautista's in a Marvel movie? Like, he was the selling point for me. That's why I wanted to go see this movie. So, Guardians 1, fantastic. Infinity War, I mean, speaks for itself. This movie constantly gets its praises. The fact that the Russos were able to handle so many characters and still deliver such a phenomenal movie, and especially with this somber ending and Thanos wins in the end, like, just so good. And the amount of moments in this movie, obviously I'm huge on Steve and T'Challa running side by side, gives me chills every time. Thor showing up in Wakanda, obviously, is like an all-timer MCU moment.
Yeah.
Tony Stark and Thanos battling it out, like, Infinity War is just phenomenal. Honestly, I'll save the Civil War Winter Soldier talk, because I'm sure you might have those on your list. And
yeah.
Maybe I can do that for Avengers 1 too. If you don't have it on your list, we'll come back around. But that's enough of me rambling about my top 10.
Okay.
What's your top 10? Your personal top 10 favorites.
My personal top 10 favorite MCU movies. This is what they are. At number 10, I have Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts really did it. Like I'll explain later.
Yeah.
Okay, at number 10, I have Thunderbolts. At number 9, I have Iron Man 3. At number 8, I have the first Iron Man. Number 7, Fantastic Four First Steps. Number 6, I have Thor Ragnarok. Number 5, Captain America Civil War. Number 4, Avengers Infinity War. Number 3, Captain America the Winter Soldier. Number 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Volume 1.
Hi.
And number 1, I have the first Avengers.
Ah!
The first Avengers!
Dude, alright, let's just start there, dude. Let's just start how good Avengers 1 is.
Like, I think that people, you know, and maybe it's more so like kids growing up today, that, like, that was my first, like, big... I think it was the first movie that I saw in theaters, but the first Marvel movie I saw in theaters. I was 12, and my mom took my sister and me to go see that movie, and we loved it so much. That's the first movie ever that I went, like, my mom took us to see that movie multiple times. I think we saw it 4 times in theaters. And the 4th time we saw it was because that movie obviously was so well received. They, on Labor Day weekend that year, they brought it back in theaters. I think it came out in May, and then they brought it back again in theaters in Labor Day. And my mom took us to see it again when we were on vacation. It's just, like, one of my fondest memories of, like, movie theater experiences, and of, like, getting thrown into a world that you love so much. Like, that was the beginning, you know, of my love for the MCU. So not my love for Marvel, because I had love for Marvel already, but like for the MCU, like it's so cool to see heroes that you love so much done on the big screen. And the first Avengers movie, dude, it just feels like a comic book movie. Like the all of the suits are amazing, and like the original six are so well done. You know, I think maybe the only gripe that I could have about that movie is the Hawkeye's treatment, to be
Yeah, but I still
brainwashed for
enjoyed that
80% of the
too.
movie. Like I enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
like to be brainwashed for 80% of the movie, he wasn't necessarily in a lot of the great scenes, like the growing pains
Yeah.
between the original six, he wasn't necessarily there for. That kind of was a
That's
little bit of
fair.
a, but obviously not enough for me to say that that movie's not my favorite movie ever. It's just so good. The dialogue is so good. The back and forth between Tony and Cap, like the growing pains, like I said, the first interactions that you get, the suits are amazing.
Does
Loki is
mother know you weareth her drapes?
yes, like all
Fantastic.
the dialogue, like it's amazing, and like Loki is a perfect villain for them to
I
face,
know.
like for the first time, like the whole portrayal of Shield and Nick Fury, like his how much he believed in them and really got them together and rallied them, and like all of it,
Yeah,
all of
until they
it.
found out he was making weapons, and Cap was like, "Yo, what is this?"
But like he said, he was banking on the Avengers working out so that they wouldn't
uh,
have to do phase two, you know, and
ugh,
that's my redeeming thing
it
about
was
Nick
so good,
Fury.
dude.
As controversial as he is, yeah, no, the first Avengers is
Steve Rogers. There's
perfect.
only one
There's
God, man. I'm
nothing
pretty
wrong
sure
with
he doesn't dress
yes,
like that.
and
So
there's
good,
nothing wrong with that movie. It is a perfect movie. Tom Hiddleston is amazing as Loki,
dude.
and like all of the dialogue between him and Black Widow and him and Thor, it's just
If that
he's just
movie
so good.
flops, the rest of the MCU doesn't pan out to how it is. It needed to
Right.
hit, and boy, did they absolutely hit it out of the park and
Yeah.
into the ocean, dude. That movie is
And like I
just
could be wrong,
phenomenal.
like that's the first time that we've had a movie where like there were multiple movies beforehand where there were like, you know, singular movies where they were solo movies, and then a
Hmm.
movie where that brought them all together. And I don't think that's, I don't know if that had ever been done before, especially for
No,
like
because I mean, like,
superheroes
you look
in a
at X
sense.
Men stuff, they started with just X Men, and then
Right.
Fantastic
Yeah.
Four had several iterations, but it's just the Fantastic Four. So, like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was just
Uh,
characters that everyone already loved, and then you got to see them together, and it was just perfect. Like this, the
Avengers one
whole
is so good, man.
yeah, like the whole third half,
The
the
Battle of
I
New
don't even
York.
yeah, the Battle of New York, like that it's just so
Like,
cinema.
how
Like
many
I
times is that still referenced in MCU? Like, oh, the Battle of New York. Like, that's like the
yeah,
second most legendary fight outside of, like, I'd
yeah,
have to put, like, the Endgame fight on top of that because that's literally like the culmination of it all. But the Battle of
yeah.
New York literally, like, has so much aftermath. Oh, you guys want to get goosebumps? Go on YouTube and look up the Soundgarden "Live to Rise" Avengers one music video where they take them playing and match it with scenes from the movie, dude.
So
Goosebumps, dude.
cool,
Every
man.
time I watch that.
It's so cool. Like there's just so much like there's the last thing I'll say about it. The
Yeah.
dialogue between Cap and Tony where he's like, you're not the guy to make the sacrifice play, to lay down on a wire and let the other guy crawl over you. And then Tony says, everything special about you came out of a bottle. And just like there's foreshadowing that in that movie too. And then even like you think that the payoff is in the first Avengers, right? He says you're not the guy to make the sacrifice play. Tony literally makes the sacrifice play in that
Yeah.
movie. He literally carries the nuke through the wormhole and nukes the Chitauri and somehow survives. And then just to see that the real payoff was him actually making the ultimate sacrifice in Avengers Endgame and saving literally half of all life in the
Yeah.
universe. It's just like it does so much, and you guys know that I'm a huge Iron Man girl, and that's why Iron Man 3 and the first Iron Man are in my top 10.
I like Iron Man 3. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I think it's overhated. I
it's
love
so
how Tony is
overhated.
portrayed through that movie and like his panic attacks and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, look at this
See, and yeah, and I was
vulnerable
gonna
version of
say,
Tony that we get. It's great.
yes, and I was gonna say that what you were saying about Thunderbolts is so true. Like, there's not a lot where you get to see the true humanity of the superheroes and I think the first time we ever did see that was in Iron Man 3, where Tony was the one reaping the repercussions of what happened in the first Avengers because he was the one to make the sacrifice play. He literally died, really,
Yeah.
taking the nuke through the wormhole. Or at least he was like seconds from death when he came back through. And he literally has panic attacks. He has PTSD. He has trauma from that. And we see him dealing with that in Iron Man 3. And we actually see him and what he can do without the suit, because all the whole argument in the first Avengers is like, put on the suit, like
Yeah.
as if he's
Guy went to
not
the
anything
hardware
without
store
the
in
suit.
Iron Man
Yeah.
3.
Went to Home Depot and then
Yeah.
took out a whole military compound. So that's who Tony Stark is. Yeah, but
I also love the
Iron Man
dynamic between
3.
him and I forget the kid's name in that movie, but it's just so funny.
Oh yeah, I think it's Henry. I
don't know, I forget, but it's so funny.
Oh my gosh,
I won't repeat his line when he's about to pull away in the car, but
yeah. I just love. There's so many moments in that movie. It's my favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might need to rewatch it in a couple months.
It's so overhated. Like, people are mad that the Mandarin wasn't really the Mandarin. I don't care. I like genuinely don't care. I care way more about like Tony Stark and his character arc and what he went through in that movie than I do about the treatment of the Mandarin. Anyways, so yeah, Thunderbolts are my number 10.
Every MCU movie is filled with, for the most part, is filled with like some random villain. Not random, like it might be a familiar face, but it's just like this is the only movie you see him in.
Yeah, and I don't care enough about the Mandarin to be mad about the Mandarin not really being the Mandarin. Yeah, so that I don't care about that. But backing up, Iron Man 3 is my number 9. Thunderbolts my number 10. Thunderbolts. I remember I was sitting in the theater with my husband and I was watching that movie, and I remember halfway through I looked over at him and I was like, oh, they like did it. Like they did it. Like this is what the MCU was. And I didn't say we're so back. I was like, dude, I think that they really cooked. Like, I think that this is it. Like they really did that. I was like, oh, Parker, they cooked. Like it's so good. And that was before the movie even ended. Like you can just feel how much heavier this movie is. And Lewis Pullman was incredible as Bob and Sentry. Like so good. And Florence Pugh, it was unbelievable, and especially her scene with David Harbour when she's like, Daddy, I'm so alone. Like, it's one of my favorite scenes in all of Marvel. Just when you see the humanity of these people and then they decide to overcome those feelings that they have and become something bigger than themselves. That's how you know someone's a superhero. I just love those moments. And then jumping to 8, the first Iron Man, you guys know that I'm a huge Iron Man girl, so it makes sense that Noah's 8 was Captain America, the First Avenger, and my 8 was the first Iron Man. So makes a lot of sense. And then
like they had to be on here.
Yeah,
those
exactly.
Initial movies.
Yeah, and then similarly, we both had 7, Fantastic Four First Steps at 7, and man, a lot of people like now I feel like are saying that they don't like Fantastic Four First Steps.
Oh, inevitable. Anytime like Deadpool, Wolverine comes out, a couple months go by, you know what?
The recency bias wears off, and then everyone freaking hates it again. Yeah,
not for me.
The recency bias, no, it did not fade for either of us. Fantastic Four First Steps was very, very, very well done. The gripes that we have about that movie, you can listen to our first ever podcast episode if you want to hear about those, but they do not outweigh the good in that movie and how amazing it is. So it stays on my top 10. It's one of my favorite things that the MCU has ever done. So, and then number 6, Thor Ragnarok, man, like the way that they handled, and you know, I understand that Thor Ragnarok can also be seen as like a bad thing that happened to Thor, because you know the Russos really took what happened in Thor Ragnarok and how he became kind of more of a comedic and fun character and ran with it, and it got worse and worse and worse, especially not necessarily the Russos' fault when Taika Waititi came back and did Thor Love and Thunder and made it worse. Like it just kept it got bad. Like it was good and well handled in Thor Ragnarok, and then it got bad. That regardless, Thor Ragnarok was so much fun. It was so well done. The comedy, the pacing, Hela, oh my gosh. Great. What's her name? Cate Blanchett is so amazing as Hela, and she was so, oh my gosh, she's so cool. Like one of my favorite performances of any villain was Cate Blanchett as Hela. And then Loki and Thor rekindling, and like they really, really understood each other and came back to each other, and they really kind of mended the things between them, and then leading right into Infinity War. Like we don't have that Infinity War Thor without Thor Ragnarok. Like he got all of that power in Thor Ragnarok that he had in Infinity War. Anyways, so I love Thor Ragnarok no matter what happened afterwards. It's still amazing.
I just rewatched it probably a month ago, and I still like it. Like I know some people have gripes with it, like you were talking about, because it's kind of a comedic movie at times, but like it goes right into Infinity War when we get probably the best version of Thor. So the contrast there is just fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you kept that same Thor, like that same Ragnarok Infinity War style, and just blended that into whatever was next, like I don't think we have the problem with Thor we have now. Like that time period of Thor I thought was perfect. Perfect blend of he could be this good comedic guy and then also be this depressed, serious badass.
Exactly.
Afterwards is where the problem lies for me.
Exactly.
Not Ragnarok.
Exactly. Yep. And then number 5, I had Captain America Civil War. Just, dude, I will forever say that I'm so obsessed with Chadwick Boseman's introduction into the MCU. He was so cool in Captain America Civil War. So cool. I think he far outshines Tom Holland's first introduction in the MCU in the same movie as Spider-Man. Far outshines it. He was so good. And that's when I was like, wow, that is Black Panther. Like, that is T'Challa. Like, he was so amazing. The whole pace of that whole movie is just unbelievable. You can feel how heavy it is. I like that it kind of feels like a mystery too. You're kind of following the antagonist in the beginning, but you're like you still have to put the pieces together of what's going on.
There's multiple layers to the story going on all at once. There's T'Challa trying to find out who killed his father, and then there's the conflict between Tony and Steve.
And Civil War is a very, very popular comic run, so it was fun coming out. Like, we knew that Civil War was going to happen. I think it maybe would have made more sense if it was an Avengers movie. And then Captain America could have had his own like third movie, like a different story for him, because it feels way more like an Avengers movie than a Captain America movie. But it very much is heavily, it talks about him and Bucky and everything, so I understand.
I know, like people are just like, oh well, it's told from Captain America's point of view. I'm like, that's kind of hard to maybe I'm just not as locked in with that kind of stuff. I'm like, I mean, like it's just as involved in this movie. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I get it. I'm not mad that it's a Captain America movie, but it's just
confusing. Like, I don't care, but it's just like weird.
I really like it. It's just so good. But Chadwick Boseman is one of the shining moments in it. And then of course, Bucky is the Winter Soldier, still dealing with, the trigger words that are still, keeping him enslaved to that part of him. I love amazing.
The post-credit scene of this movie where Bucky's about to go back under, and Steve's like telling T'Challa, like, if they find out he's here, like, they're gonna come for him. He just looks out the window and he's like, let them try. And the music starts playing. I'm like, ah!
Yeah, so good. And then the Black Panther movie's gonna come out. Yeah, just so good. It was.
Black Panther movie was honestly, that could have been like that might be like a 12-13 spot for me.
Yeah, like, it's also in there for me too. It's just like, I just like all of these movies so much more. But I love Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. I don't know what could have made that movie higher in the list for me, but these movies are just so much better.
What's next?
And then Infinity War was my number 4. Infinity War is unbelievable. I don't think that I have to even explain why Infinity War is my number 4. But I think where we differed was that I had Winter Soldier and then I had Guardians of the Galaxy above Winter Soldier. It goes without explaining why Captain America: The Winter Soldier is up there. Is unbelievable. One of, if not the best MCU movie. But, widely, like generally, like obviously not.
You ask anybody, like, where Avengers 1 lands is going to be different, where Infinity War and Endgame lands is going to be different. Everybody always has Winter Soldier at least in their top 5. But I feel like a lot of people, it's top 3. It's just that good of a movie.
And then
before we get started, does anybody want to get out?
So good. Like, that is the movie where I was like, I love Captain America, dude. He's so good. He's so cool. The fight scenes in that movie are unbelievable. They added more depth to Black Widow, and she's just very, very well done in that movie. Everything about it is so cool. It's just Bucky, though. Like, Sebastian Stan steals the show.
Him showing up, and it's in that first. Is it the first scene where they're in the wherever, I think they're in Washington D.C. and cars are flipping and he's just trucking down the highway, music's playing. I'm like, yo, this is such a cool introduction right now. This dude is just like a Terminator, dude.
It's so good. Yeah, so good. And then Guardians 1 was a really big deal for me again, because like, while I knew who the Guardians were going into the movie, a lot of people didn't. And that's just like another huge acknowledgement to James Gunn and what he was able to do, him and Kevin Feige and obviously everyone involved, with a group that wasn't necessarily very well known or widely known outside of MCU fans and comic fans. And then now the Guardians of the Galaxy are like a household name. Like everyone knows who the Guardians of the Galaxy are because that first movie, you know, some people felt that movie was kind of like, a risk that they were taking making that movie.
WWE did not promote the fact that Batista was in this movie because even they thought it was going to flop. Boy, did it never not flop.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable. Like it's so incredible. The entire cast is perfect. Like it could not be more perfect of a movie. And I think that's all I have to say about that. It's just so good. I could go all day long.
And then it's Avengers 1 for both.
And then it's Avengers 1, yeah. So that's my top 10. And if you guys have something different, if you don't like our list, we'd love for you to let us know. I mean, I'd love to hear everyone's top 10 favorite MCU movies. It's such a blessing that we have so much MCU, like Marvel media, to be able to even make a top 10. You can make a top 20. Like, it's insane, like, how much that we have in Marvel. So let us know what your top 10 favorite MCU movies are. Of course, this is just our personal favorites, not necessarily how we feel about the greatest MCU movies of all time objectively. If you guys would like us to do a list like that, we absolutely can. I think that would be really fun.
Sure.
So just let us know. But I think that's all that we have for today, right?
That is all that we got. The MCU top 10 was the main thing we wanted to get into this week. I think next week we'll try for another blind ranking or two because that was actually pretty fun. Took up a little bit more time than we thought. But yeah, guys, so if there's anything you want us to talk about, not only next week, but just in future episodes, definitely let us know. I think we can probably do what's there, 11 Star Wars movies. We could probably do a top, or not necessarily a top, but just rank all the Star Wars movies eventually. So keep that in mind for the future. But yeah, I think that is all we got. Any final questions, comments, concerns? Where can they find you?
You guys can find me everywhere: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Threads, at Laney Byers. I am also on Twitch and YouTube streaming at Laney Byers. If you're listening to this on Friday, September 12th, in between 9 and 5 p.m. Eastern time, I'm probably live streaming the new Marvel Rivals update, so please come on over. If you guys like to watch people game, I'll be on Twitch and YouTube at Laney Byers. Please let me know if you came from the Lightforce podcast. That would be so... Oh my gosh.
I'm keeping that one in.
If you came from the Lightforce podcast, that'd be so cool if you came into my chat and let me know. Like, I would love that so much. So yeah, that's where you can find me. I love my stream community. Shout out to you guys. I love you guys so much. You guys have been so supportive of us, like we say every week. So we just can't thank you enough for that. No Nation has had a rebrand, though.
Not a full rebrand. We just took the gaming out of the Instagram and TikTok. Still can't change my Twitter @ because they have a limit of characters on the guns. But you can follow me on Twitter at Noah Nation Vlogs. You follow me on Instagram and TikTok and Threads at noahnation.official. Because Noah Nation and everything else I tried was already taken. So, in case you were wondering what the official one is, it's the one that says official. But yeah, I think that's all we got for this week, guys. Episode 6 of the Lightforce Podcast in the books. Again, go follow us on all social medias at the Lightforce Podcast. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Threads. If you're watching on YouTube, you can listen on Apple and Spotify, and vice versa. If you're listening on Apple and Spotify, you can go subscribe to us over on YouTube. And I think that's going to do it. So we will see you guys next Friday. Peace out.
Bye, guys.